How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another Ethereum update. Now, ETH keeps failing to push through the moving averages. This makes it much more likely to keep heading lower. Now, this red moving average here is the daily 200 EMA, taking an average of the last 200 candles. So a very important trend line for a bullish breakout. You want to see ETH maintaining this area as support. But if you tuned into the last few updates, I gave a much more specific zone that ETH needs to hold, and it's this golden pocket right here. So it would actually be fine to lose this red line, the 200 daily EMA, just so long as the gold pocket, the gold box right here, maintains and reverses. So we need to see a reversal that then recovers the 200 EMA, similar to what we see on the left here. So we came down, lost the 200 EMA, but then recovered and put a new local high. It really seemed like we were breaking out of 2.8k that day, because during the daily candle it was up there, but it's all about that daily candle close. I spent a lot of time throughout all the altcoin updates yesterday discussing about the importance of the daily time frame and the closes. So what's going on during the day could essentially be false to trick you into having a bias in one direction, and then for that daily candle close literally reverse. So what happened down over here when the 200 EMA was lost, it actually maintained this wick. So you can see the body maintained the 200 EMA, but the bulls stepped in right there because during that candle, it was bearish. The 200 EMA was lost. Had it closed down there, we'd have a breakdown. But for the daily candle close, it switched up. And then the bull stepped in exactly from the level of 2,328. So I have to mark that out. That is the key level of support. At all costs, it can't be lost. But there is a precursor level, and that's 2,385. Only, yeah, $50, let's just say, around there. Slightly under that, but away. So very important level. If we're losing this, it's creating the reversal wave, and then these become its targets. So we would be losing all sets of moving averages, meaning that a move up could just be to create a lower high. Now testing all these moving averages as resistance to head even lower. We don't want that to be the case. And if you've just come from my Bitcoin update, we were talking about a potential jump warning simply because Bitcoin dominance is rising and is at a very key macro level right now, which for altcoins, it needs to reject. But at the moment, it's looking likely that Bitcoin's going to continue through that. So go check out the update. I explain it in detail. But with that signal from Bitcoin dominance that it wants to rise, what would that mean for alts? It means we're going to go through a further period of alts losing Bitcoin value. So by holding altcoins throughout a period where Bitcoin dominance is rising, you're missing out on Bitcoin. And I think everyone needs to be reminded why we're in crypto in the first place, and that's to take power away from central banks. And a lot of these cryptos nowadays, success comes from being tied to banks and facilitating CBDCs. So I think we all need to remember why we're actually here in the first place. And yeah, obviously that's kind of led into becoming a Bitcoin update. But yeah, each to their own. Each to their own. I think looking at ETH Bitcoin, and when you zoom out to the weekly, you can see the trend year on year on year. I don't see this ever recovering to new highs. That's just my personal opinion with the 6 years of knowledge. If you think that this can recover, fair enough. But to me, there is zero chance. But that's just me. I think the damage was done because the highest point was like 2017. So over here on the ETH chart on the weekly, we can also see that we keep failing to push through these areas. Look at the moving averages holding on the weekly time frame. Look how many failed breakouts. Of course, Bitcoin flips bullish. This will break out. Then I would expect 3.6k USD per ETH. But at the moment, there are many warning signs for a move down, which could possibly lose the daily moving averages, and on the weekly time frame showing that the 55 and the 100-week moving average, which is 2 years, guys, the 100-week moving average, that being confirmed as resistance, would then suggest this move up is potentially a macro lower high, so a corrective move up for lower. I really don't want that to be the case for those ETH holders out there. I'm personally not in ETH, but for those holders out there, we really need to see Bitcoin specifically reversing exactly from here, that would allow ETH to maintain these two lows, still then regarding it as bullish, even though in the short term still trapped under the moving averages. These are macro supports, so you have to hold them for long-term higher if you want to continue high in the long term. So by maintaining that level, we will see it reverse, however long it takes, and it will get up to 3.6k. But by losing this key level, we actually have to forget about that, and then we have to start looking for lower, back down towards 2k. That is it from me today. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. If you want to get educated, I've got a 20% discount at the moment. Use the links down below. I'll see you over there.